Hey guys, it is Clay, CPAP My Way, cpapmyway.com. Today I'm here to discuss a real quick topic, and that is one that we are asked about a lot, especially in the comments here on YouTube, and it is whether or not you can use your CPAP without water in the tank. So we're going to discuss whether or not you can, obviously. Number two, we're going to discuss whether you should use it without water. Number three, we're going to give you some tips for if you're going to choose to use it without water, things you probably ought to consider and certainly must do. Then number four, we're going to go over the benefits of life without water in your CPAP. So if you like the info, we really appreciate the thumbs up. Comment with any questions or input, especially if you've got experience with this. And subscribe if you want more info. Let's jump in. All right, so first and foremost, can you use it without water? Yes. All you have to do is not put water in the tank. This here is an AirSense 11 from ResMed. It has the integrated humidifier, right? So it's built into the actual CPAP. Most of your units these days do have an integrated humidifier. So really, if you're gonna use it without water, all you gotta do is empty it and install it in the machine without water. Now, should you use your CPAP without water in the tank? That's a little bit more of a complicated question. There's a reason why pretty much every CPAP, home CPAP, comes with an integrated humidifier. It's a pretty important thing, but it is still considered a comfort portion of your CPAP, right? So it's not providing anything in addition that is a therapeutic thing. However, I've been told by many sleep doctors and therapists over the years that if you get dried out in your airway, it can cause swelling, which can increase your apnea, and in turn, especially if you're on auto CPAP, the pressure may have to increase on the CPAP, and things just get uncomfortable at that point. And then to determine if it's even a good option for you to begin with, if you're already having dryness and you're using a humidifier, you're probably not going to do very well if you don't put water in the tank. Another thing is if you wake up in the morning and your humidifier chamber is empty and you're feeling good, you probably need that humidity, right? So if it's using a ton of water overnight and your airways are feeling great in the morning, you probably don't want to do without it. And another thing to consider on the should you side is what kind of environment are you in? Is your home or area that you live in already humid, or do you live in Arizona and it's super dry? If it's super dry, you're probably going to need some added humidity. If it is a humid place like Florida here, I think we're like 90% humidity today. Probably could do without the humidifier from time to time, much easier than you could in Arizona. But I will say overall on the should you, it's probably not going to hurt to just try it one night. You know, worst case scenario, you have a bad night of sleep, and you know that happens from time to time anyway. So it's probably worth giving it a shot. Now, some things you got to keep in mind if you're going to use it without humidifier. First and foremost is it's a good idea to turn the humidifier off or down to zero if you're going to do the tank empty. It's not really because it's going to cause a fire or do anything really crazy, but it's just best if you're not going to have water in the tank to just disable the humidifier, at least for the night. On this AirSense 11 here, I'll plug it in and show you real quick. In addition, in the blog link that I have below, you will be able to find all of the menus for all of the most common CPAPs so that you can navigate and find where your humidifier setting is in yours. But I'm going to show you real quick on the AirSense 11 just as a quick reference. All right, so on the ResMed here, we go to my options, humidity level, and off, then okay, and go home to exit. But that's all there is to disabling this humidifier. And if the next night you wanted to go back to using the humidifier, put some water in the tank, obviously, and then you could just go right back to humidity level and go back to, this one was set on 4, and you're back using it again. So it's a pretty simple thing to enable and disable. So aside from disabling the humidifier and turning it off, you'll also probably want to keep the water nearby just in case you want to add it in the middle of the night. You wake up super dry at midnight, no sense in finishing the night uncomfortable, right? Go ahead and add some water and get back to bed. The other thing you might want to consider using is an HME. I'll have a link to that in the blog as well. That's in the description. That's a little addition you can put in between your mask and your tube. Recycles your own exhaled humidity and keeps you from drying out as much. And it allows you to use the CPAP without water on the road. It's what they use in most travel CPAPs, which is a cool deal. Another thing about using the CPAP without water, especially if you're just doing this because you want to stop carrying distilled water on the road with you, try it at home first. Don't go on the road without any distilled water and have a miserable night and then, you know, panic trying to find what you can use. And if you're on the road, also just use some tap water. Don't panic about finding distilled. A few nights on tap water is not going to hurt anything. And the last thing is to remember, you're going to empty the tank, but it still has to be in there for most models, right? Unless you have the bypass edition. Some models have a bypass option, and some models actually separate from the humidifier and allow you to connect direct to the CPAP. So don't, try to crank it up without the humidifier installed. And the last thing I wanted to discuss were the benefits of using without water. The first and foremost is obviously you don't have to fill it and dump it. That's kind of a little bit of a pain, kind of like brushing your teeth morning and night, right? You got to fill the tank in the evening, empty it in the morning, and if you could stop doing that, that's awesome. Second thing is another big deal, and that is cleaning and maintenance. When you don't have water in the tank, there's a lot less chance of mildew, bacteria, and issues like that, which is really nice. Additionally, if you're considering using the CPAP on the road without the water, it makes life easier traveling, and it would give you a good idea of whether or not you could use a travel CPAP without a humidifier. A lot of people considering a travel CPAP are like, I don't know if I could use the travel CPAP without humidification. Well, just try it on your home CPAP first. It's a great way to find out without investing $1,000 on a new travel CPAP and finding out that it doesn't work well. So anyway, we really appreciate the opportunity to answer these kind of questions. If you have questions or things you want to expand on, throw it in the comments below. Like it if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want more videos to be served to you. Thanks for watching.